Hi everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Sunday, October 3rd. It's October 3rd of the year 2021, and this is going to be FlossTube number 69. So as always, I want to welcome you all. Welcome back to all my current viewers and subscribers. And thank you, as always, for your continuing support. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, so thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if this is your first time visiting, then welcome. I hope that you like what you see today. You find a reason to stay, subscribe, and continue to follow me on my stitching journey. I know it's been a bit since my last video. I had this idea that I wanted to record on like the first weekend of the month, and then like in the middle of the month. I didn't realize that was going to mean one extra week of no recording, but I'm here, I'm back. I've got quite a bit to show you despite our very busy schedule. And I do want to say thank you for all your kind comments on the last video regarding my little shift in focus or non-focus as it is. I've always worked with goals. I've always had this idea of like I need to have some sort of groundwork, that I went off of to figure out what to stitch on. So doing away with those, or doing away with most of those, was a very interesting change of pace. I've been enjoying it, at the end of the day, because that's what it's all about, right? It's about enjoying our hobby, enjoying the time that we have with it. So all those goals, as nice as they were to have, they became more and more unrealistic as time went on. So trying something new. I do have a bit to show you. I've been working as I can with the new job and school, so might not be too much of a variety, but I have a lot of progress to show. So let's get to the stitching. And this is getting stuck. There we go. So the first piece that I wanted to show you is my daily 30 focus piece. This is Be Brave, the Dimensions kit that I got at Michael's or Joann's, one of the other. I think it might have been Joann's. I tend to go to Joann's more than I do Michael's. It's closer to me anyway. But yeah, this is one of the many pieces that I started back when the lockdown first began. So I started this, I think, April 1st of last year, and this is what I have so far. So quite a bit done since the last time I showed it to you. It has been 3 weeks, so and again, this is getting at least 30 minutes a day. I say at least because more often than not, I'll just work on one strand of floss and then finish it, even if it's a little bit after 30 minutes. But as you can see, I finished his face. I don't remember if I had even started on his hand here, but I definitely did his sleeve, and I finished his coat, right? Well, I guess it's the cummerbund. And of course I filled in her dress. Like, that's really been most of the stitching that is involved here. As you can see, I really don't have too much to do. It's just a little bit of a side by side. I just have the words to go at this point, really. I need to finish her skirt. Sorry for the glare. I'm trying to work with the glare. So as you can see, I just need to finish the top of the skirt, the words, and then of course the back stitching, right? That's going to be a bit of a struggle, as always. I had originally thought about just doing the back stitch as I go, but again, because I'm working on this while I'm trying to juggle school, back stitching, I really have to just find time where I could just sit and just focus on the back stitching, and it's a little harder to do nowadays. So I just decided, what the heck, I'll just go ahead and finish the stitching. It's fine. So this is, I had hoped to finish this by the end of September. Obviously that didn't happen, but that's okay. I'll just finish it this month. With the No New Starts challenge, I'm trying to average I finish a week, I finish a month. On average. Again, I think there was one other month this year. For the most part, I've been good, but I think there was one other month where I didn't quite make it. I think it was May. But I just, I finished the piece that I was working on like the first week of the following month. So it was practically like, it was okay. So that would have been the September finish. For my October finish, or hopefully my October finish, the piece that I've decided I'm gonna work on is one, it just started calling out to me out of nowhere. It's one that I started, I'm pretty sure I started last year. I think I started in November of last year because that's when I started a lot of things. This is my Baby Yoda piece from Oh My Stitches shop. And for this one, I'm doing my own colors. I'm not following the called for colors. The product image looked a little bit different than the actual colors used. So once I saw which colors were used, I didn't like it as much, so I decided to go with my own thing. But for the most part, it's been a very easy stitch. Again, it is pattern keeper compatible, so it's even faster. But there's a lot of block stitching as well, so it goes fast either way. I just outline and then go crazy. This is what I have so far. I've done a little over 2,000 stitches on this total, and it has a little bit over 6,000 stitches. So even though I set no goals, because I do want to make sure that I keep up with the monthly finishes, I do want to at least work on this, put in 1,000 stitches every week so I can finish it in time. Because all I have to do really is, once I finish this little ear, the inside of the ear, I just need to do the outlining in black, and then the roses here at the bottom. So it's not that much. It's 4,000 stitches nonetheless, but I feel like it's gonna go by pretty quick, especially with the outlining in black. That's gonna go by real fast. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to work on this or finish it by the end of the month. But again, if I have to finish it in November, so be it. I'm really enjoying the stitching, because again, it's nice, easy stitching. It's a break from confetti stitching and full coverage stitching. I'll go ahead and link the shop down below. I do want to have a little bit of a disclaimer though. The shop owner announced that she was having issues with her shop. Somebody stole her information. So like whenever people try purchasing a pattern, she wasn't getting any of the revenue. So I have to double check and make sure that that's taken care of, because I don't want you all to, I don't want to promote a shop and say, here's the link, go nuts, and then, have it be that, there's something going on with the shop and she wasn't getting, the revenue that she should be getting. So I'll just double check with her shop to see if it's fixed before posting the link for that one specifically. Besides that, I am working on my regular pieces. The one piece that I've been trying to work on consistently is my Heaven and Earth Designs chart mini midnight stroll by Julie Fane. It's kind of a small picture, but most of her designs are very similar. There's even some, I think it's Dimensions who has a couple of kits from her art, but this is where she's at right now. So all things pretty good, I think. Again, once I threw out my goals out the window, for this one I did want to keep it because it is going to be a gift, but I still decided to not stick with how I was going to work on this originally. I said I was going to do one color at a time, which I did for the most part. I was able to do a lot of it right here. This is all one color, And then once it brought me down to this corner, because this is the bottom corner of the design, once I got to it, I noticed that there was going to be a lot of there's still some of this purple in this section right here. So, but it would have been like in the middle of nowhere. So I decided that I didn't want to have stitches in the middle of nowhere. I didn't want to have to count. I didn't want to have to deal with how I'm gonna anchor, you know, and end my flosses when I was stitching. So I decided to start on the 939. I decided I'm gonna work on the 939, work my way up here to where the little confetti stitches start for that color. And then once I have some groundwork, because I think this is going to keep going a little bit further this way. So once I have more stitched in that area so that it's not all blank, I'll go ahead and finish the last color. But yeah, for this one, I'm essentially stitching whatever I want, however I want, because, you know, progress is progress. So if I choose to, because this section as well, this is all going to be one color too, for the most part. It's going to be, I think, black. It's either black or 939. So that's going to be quick stitching as well. So I may do that section just for quick stitching. So I'm still going to be using this for the Magical Stitches monthly prompts, where we have to stitch in either 500, 1000 or 1500 stitch increments. So this is my 50. This has been one of the ones that I used. This is going to be my 1500 monster for at least for this month, for October. I think what I'll end up doing is just, instead of doing all 1500 stitches all at once like I used to do, I may just do a little bit of a time and then just slowly but surely work my way up to 1500 stitches. That way it's not too overwhelming, and I can still make progress even though I have school. Let's see what else. So we have started fall, we have started the spooky season. I don't do too many holiday patterns, but I do enjoy the Halloween patterns, unless, you know, I don't normally stitch stuff that's like, you know, it's got Halloween plaster all over it, but I do like the themes. So when fall first started, I got very inspired to work on my Mystic Stitch piece. This is Change of Seasons 2, and I'm not sure, I think it wasn't in this video, I think it was in my English video as opposed to my Spanish video. Somebody suggested that I work this, that I find the tree trunk and I just work my way down to the tree trunk, because how I originally said I was going to do this was to work on each season as, you know, as the season changed. So the only thing is because I did start on the fall season, this has already gotten a lot of things done. So what I wanted to do was just try to start on the winter season as early as possible, so that I can have until March. I have all the way to March to start the spring section. So originally what I was going to do was work my way around, like, the frame, do the framework of the piece and work from corner or from edge to edge. And somebody suggested that instead of doing that, I can just find the tree trunk and then just work on the tree trunk, and that'll get me down to the spring section. So I may do that. I may do that, and then work on the sky. It all depends on how long it takes me. So, you know, if January rolls around and I'm already over here in the spring, then I'll keep working on the winter season still. Because the whole point is to try to make progress on this. This will become my focus piece for daily 30 after I finish my Beauty and the Beast. So as you can see, I started the winter color. I think last time I showed this to you, I was still working on the goals. I was working on this side. As you can see, this is the autumn side. So I slowly but surely made my way to the side, and I have started on the winter quarter. I don't know what you want to call it. So the plan is to keep working on this edge right here until I find the browns of the tree trunk. Once I find the base of the branches, because that's the other thing is, at least with the other seasons, you can start on the leaves, right? There's a lot of leaves that you can stitch before you get to the tree trunk. This one doesn't, you know, it's winter, so the tree's bare, so there's a lot more sky to deal with. So that's another reason why it's a little bit hard to find the tree trunk. So I'm trying to keep working on this section until I find the branches. Once I get to the branches, I may go ahead and follow it down. But yeah, I figured doing the daily 30 is going to be a good way of making sure that I do work on it, because this is a piece that I'm working on with Sakia of Lady Wing Designs, and we gave ourselves 8 years to finish this piece. We started it on leap day, so we gave ourselves 2 more leap days to finish it. And you know, if again, going back to the goals are out the window, but this is one of the pieces that I would like to at least try to accomplish on time. So you'll see this a lot more often, I suppose, once Beating the Beast is finished and this becomes the daily 30 focus. And you know, speaking of Halloween, I decided to start working on a lot of my Halloween pieces. As soon as October rolled around, I was like super inspired. Everybody was, you know, posting all their Halloween starts or October starts, lots of new patterns. So I got really inspired to work on my own Halloween themed patterns. And again, this isn't strictly Halloween, but I associate it with Halloween. This is Till Death Do Us Part by Tilton Crafts. Artwork is by Daniel Kordick, and for this one, I'm using it when I watch TV. This is just border right now. I think I have this on this side. So I did reach 5% of the piece completed, but again, it's all been black. What I do want to do now, though, is I'll go ahead and finish this section of the border, but I do want to get started on the image. I do want to have a break from the border and have the option of working on something else. So I maybe alternate, because that's usually how I work these kinds of designs anyway, whenever there's like a large amount of stitches of one solid color, like black or 939 or whatever it is. I like to have the option of wanting to alternate between solid stitching and something else. So maybe by the next video, you'll be able to see some of the image coming in besides just solid black. Because I do like this piece. I like this piece very much. It's one of my favorite movies. I used to play piano, and I used to have the music, some of the music themes from that movie. One of the characters, well, 2 of the characters play piano. They each have their own theme. I used to know the theme on piano. It's always been one of my favorite movies, so I want to go ahead and start working on them more often. Another Halloween themed piece that I want to keep working on this month is one by Park Hopper Bart of FlossTube and Instagram. He, you know, it's Park Hopper, right? So as the name implies, he too is a very much a big fan of Disney, and he does a lot of Disney themed patterns. So he released this, I believe it was last year. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, copyright 2020. So it was last year he released this. So this is inspired by an actual framed piece that's inside the Haunted Mansion ride. And of course, I had to have it. I had to start it, had to get it. I started it last year around October. It wasn't specifically Halloween, but it was around Halloween. And then I just never picked it back up again. I'm very, very bad about stitching things that aren't on Pattern Keeper. I need to be better, and I know I need to be better because I have quite a few. I've got some samplers that aren't Pattern Keeper compatible. I've got some of my Dimensions kits that aren't, obviously, they're not PDF copies. So I need to be better, and I recognize that. Having said that, we had a recent Pattern Keeper update, and every time there's an update, I make a point of trying to upload patterns that previously were not compatible. And this happened to be one of those that actually made it this time around. So this is what I have so far. I only put in 300 stitches. I started working on this on the 1st, so October 1st, Halloween theme, let's go. So I did 300 stitches all in the blues. I started the blue flowers. So I had already done the 2 roses here with the little bud and the leaves, obviously. So I'm gonna keep working on on this edge of the border. This is a lot more fabric. It's not obviously it's not gonna be this big. This was just leftover fabric that I had when I started. I started Consider the Lilies. This is 18 count vintage country mocha, and I had some fabric left over when I finished it, so I decided this might be a good fabric to do this piece with. When Bart did his model stitch, he used a gray hand-dyed fabric. So I had to do a little bit of tweaking to the colors, specifically to the roses, because he used some pinks that were disappearing too much on my fabric. So I had to make some adjustments, but the blues seem to be okay. I feel like the blues will go ahead and they pop out. It doesn't, I mean, it kind of looks okay on camera, but they do pop a lot. I'm enjoying it very much. And so yeah, so now that it's on Pattern Keeper, I'm sure I'll be able to work on it a lot faster, so a lot more often, and I'm excited. Because I do have, I think, 1 or 2 more of his patterns that I want to work on, but I told myself that I wasn't gonna work on them until I had made some good progress on this one. So I believe that is it. I don't have too much more to show. As I mentioned, I am going to try to be a little bit more carefree about what I stitch. No New Starts has announced that they're going to keep going next year. I'm not joining next year, even though they are they're essentially offering 3 challenges under one group. The first version of the challenge is just no new starts. You're not allowed to start anything whatsoever. There's another one where you have a list of like, I think it's 22 and 22 whips, and if you finish one, then you can start another. So that's how that goes, but you can't have more than 22 whips going at a time. So you have to declare those and then stick to those for the rest of the year, again, unless you finish it, and then you can put one in to replace it. And then the third one, I believe it's not similar, but you are allowed, for every whip you finish, you're allowed to start something around the same size. I'm pretty sure how that goes. So for example, if you do a mill hill, this nice small mill hill, you can't start a height. So again, kind of keeping some balance. So they have options, but I just decided to forgo it this year. It was great to do it this year. It was a great way to get back to working on current patterns. But I do have a few starts in mind, as I've mentioned previously. So I just decided to wish them luck, but not join this year. So yeah, so I'll just I'll keep doing my own thing, I suppose. Magical Stitches will be announcing their theme for next year at the end of the month. Vicky teased us about it a couple of weeks ago, and then she said that the full reveal will be on Halloween. So I had to wait a little bit more to find out what's going on with that group. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's coming up for me, at least. As always, if you have any questions about anything you saw today, I do leave the links down below. I'll have to double check with the shop for the Baby Yoda piece, but other than that, everything else will be in the description box. And yeah, if you have any more questions, you're always welcome to leave a comment. You can also reach out to me via Instagram. All the links are going to be in the description box. And yeah, I hope that you have, well, I usually say relaxing weekend because I usually film at the beginning of the weekend. I hope you enjoy what remains of the weekend. You have a productive week, and you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. Until next time, bye.